In this final video, we are going to create an enemy that our character will interact with. We'll start by creating variables for our enemy character. We'll make var enemy x equal to 750 and var enemy y at 350. The next thing we're going to do is go down to function draw, and we're going to want to make our enemy at a position of enemy x, enemy y, and let's make it a rectangle. So we'll do rect, and then in parentheses, enemy x, comma, enemy y. We'll make it 50 by 50. And then we also want to add in a color, so let's go right above it and give it a fill. The next thing that we'll want to do is make it so that our enemy can move on its own. So we'll type in enemy x equals enemy x minus 5. That'll have it move to the left. We also will want our enemy to reset once it hits the left side of the canvas. So we'll type if the x position of our enemy is less than -50, then the x position should reset to its original spot at 750. For our final step, we want to make it so that when the enemy and our character come into contact, they reset positions. We have two options. We can either use the distance formula to track each character's position, or we can use a combination of if statements similar to the if statements we use to create a button. In this example, we'll use the second option because it will be a lot more precise, but will also take a bit more time. So what we're going to want to say is if player x, so if the x position of our character plus 25 is greater than or equal to the x position of our enemy minus 25, and the x position of our character is less than or equal to the x position of our enemy plus 25. This is where it gets tricky because we want to make sure that our next if statement goes within the scope of the if statement we just wrote. So in the curly brackets, we'll write the exact same condition as the one we just wrote, except instead of the x position of both enemy and our character, we're going to use the y positions. Now we should have two sets of opening and closing curly brackets. In the scope of the second statement is where we will reset the x positions of the enemy and the player. We will write enemy x equals 750 and player x equals 300. If you want to add other functionalities like losing a life or going to a game over screen, it will all go inside of this scope. We now have a very basic side scroller animation. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with all of our newest videos.